Bud Shaw has a commentary. I would love to hear it.
Well, I want to talk a little bit about the Browns, even though it's a tough transition on a day like this. You know, it's not easy to do what the Browns did in the season opener, and I don't mean crush a city's enthusiasm in just 3 short hours. I mean get called for 18 penalties. They came in all varieties, those penalties: holding, false start, offsides, roughness. When the Browns practiced in Indy for 2 days this summer, the second day was fight-filled. Freddie Kitchens seemed to take great delight in that. It's fair to question now, in my mind, if he and his team came into the season with the wrong understanding of toughness. Toughness was Mike-Vrabel and the Titans giving up a touchdown early, then outscoring the Browns 43-7 in a real hostile environment. Toughness wasn't what the Browns showed in the second half. In fact, they looked more like quitters. Kitchens has another opportunity to change the narrative Monday night in New York. We could point out that only one NFL rookie head coach won in Week 1. But that wouldn't excuse how embarrassing the Browns' loss was. Only a win now can erase the memory of the worst head coaching debut since the Browns returned. And I include Chris Palmer's debut in that.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say that even with that game, what we saw, I think, was worse, what we saw on Sunday.
Yeah, the score, obviously, in Chris Palmer's first game was 43-0, I believe.
Yeah.
You know,
Tim Couch, they had to put him in to start the second half.
Yeah, they were totally overmatched talent-wise by that Pittsburgh Steelers team. In this case, I think they were the team with the best talent on the field.
Do you agree with me that in a game like that, you can't pinpoint one person? That's a team loss, a team embarrassment. And
Yeah.
you use the word, I was going to use it too to get you off the hook, you use the word quitters, which is the worst thing you can say about a professional athlete. And yet I think that's what we saw, at least in the fourth quarter. They weren't going to come back. But you know what? They were still in that game. 3 minutes left in the third quarter. They're only down by 9 points.
Yeah, until the screen pass, really.
Yeah.
And then I think that kind of just sucked the air out of the place and put them really in a bind. Because then I think less is what we saw from Baker-Mayfield is him deciding that he's got to try to make great throws in tight windows to come back from something like that. And we know what happened. He was picked off 3 times.
And I was concerned that he was hurt. He left the stadium with a wrap around it, but apparently he practiced today and didn't have any bandages.
Yeah, the one
anything.
sack in the end zone, I think probably bruised his left shoulder. He got up from that a little gingerly, a little slowly, but I'm sure he'll be ready to go. And I suspect that they're going to have a big bounce-back game in New York. I don't think the Jets are a great team by any means, and
blew a game that they
and
should have had.
They did blow a game they should have won against Buffalo, but I think these guys know that they embarrassed themselves. And most times professional athletes, when they embarrass themselves, they respond.
But if you're Freddie Kitchens, do you just go in and say, all right, everyone in this room knows they're at fault or did something to contribute to the loss? Or do you just start screaming? What do you do?
Well, I don't know, because I think he feels somewhat part of the problem in this game. I mean, when there's that many penalties, I think coaches understand that their staff hasn't prepared these guys, whether it's technique-wise or, again, not getting the point across that there's a difference between chippiness at the end of plays and being tough. So I think he holds himself a little bit accountable, and that's why his message to us when we went down after the game the other day was that he wasn't going to overreact. So I think in keeping with that, he probably wouldn't, start screaming.